Welcome back everyone to going through House of the Dragon. My name is Triple S, and in this video I'll be talking about the 5th episode of the first season, We Light the Way. I'll be going through what I like and dislike about the episode, what I feel it does better or worse compared to the source material, and also bring up anything I find interesting or noteworthy enough to mention. There might be spoilers for future episodes and other media related to the A Song of Ice and Fire series as well, so you've been warned. With all of that said, let's begin. Right off the bat, this actually isn't the first time we've seen the castle of Runestone. We were shown it in episode 1 of season 5 of Game of Thrones, where Peter, Sansa and Bronze Jon Royce were outside near it watching Robb and Arryn fail miserably at fighting. Yay, we finally get to meet the wife of Daemon, Rhea Royce. And she's dead. I was expecting Daemon to show up as she was riding around on Caraxes and he would burn her alive, not caring if people put it together that it was him. Or the dragon would just pick her up and drop her to her death, or carry her off to drop her in the ocean or something to make it a disappearance. If only she didn't turn down the company of her cousin Gerald. I like how Daemon uses a stone to finish off his wife in the show, since Fire and Blood tells us Rhea fell from her horse whilst talking and cracked her skull on a stone. Word of her death is then sent to Daemon at the Stepstones because even after his killing of the crab feeder in 108 AC, the Triarchy and their Dornish allies are still causing trouble in 115 AC, which is the year when Rhea died. It actually took her 9 days to finally die when she felt recovered enough to get out of bed, but then collapsed dead an hour later. Sounds pretty sus to me. Did Daemon actually find his wife with the intention of murdering her? Just like in the final scenes of episode 3, Daemon doesn't say a word here, so we can only guess at what his intentions were. Was it premeditated murder, or was it, as the director and showrunners say, just Daemon making split-second decisions? Did he try to grab Rhea's horse to stop her from putting distance between herself and him so that she could use the bow she was reaching for on him? And since he probably rode Caraxes here and smells like a dragon, did he approach the horse to intentionally spook it with the smell, or was it accidental? After discovering she's now paralysed from her horse falling on her, was Daemon actually just going to walk away and leave her either to die or be discovered by others? Was it only after she called him Craven, which we saw in the previous episode is a big no-no to call someone, that he finally decided to actually murder her? Or was it not calling him Craven but actually her saying she knew he couldn't finish, which made him decide to smash her head in with a rock because it reminded him of not being able to finish sexually with Mysaria in episode 1 and with Rhaenyra in the previous episode? Also, it turns out Daemon was talking out of his ass about the Vale sheep looking better than their women because Rhea is a major hottie. Unless of course he wasn't lying and the Vale just has super sexy sheep. How was Otto the Hand of the King for so long with him being this narrow-minded? He believes so completely that 100% of Westeros will not accept Rhaenyra as queen, and only Aegon being named king will prevent war, that he can't possibly even contemplate that some lords might actually support Rhaenyra as queen and will fight to ensure it. The Castle of High Tide is actually a real-world castle called St. Michael's Mount, located here in Cornwall in my home country of England. Since High Tide in Fire and Blood is said to be located on a tidal island connected to the mainland via a land bridge, the producers just found a real-world tidal island castle and filmed there. Though the castle is itself real, some elements have still been added using CGI to make it appear grander, such as these towers and this extension roofed with what appears to be beaten silver as described in Fire and Blood. Now here's the thing. Though the island of Driftmark already has a castle, the castle named Driftmark, which is the ancestral seat of House Velaryon, it's an ugly looking castle that more often than not is damp and flooded. So Corlys, using the immense wealth he obtained from his 9 voyages to Essos, which might actually be made into another spin-off show, had the castle of High Tide built as fast as possible using the same white stone which was used to build the Eyrie in the book, since the Eyrie in the show looks like an ugly termite mound, crowned the roofs with beaten silver and moved the driftwood throne to it from Driftmark. So Corlys, who needs to have a place to live, instead of going with the horrible, damp, flooded ancestral Valyrian castle Driftmark, instead chose to build his own, more lovely castle of High Tide and live there instead. You know what that reminds me of? Viserys, who needs to get remarried, instead of going with Rhaenyra Velaryon, instead chooses to marry Alicent. Move over Otto, Larys Clubfoot Strong is here now, or should we instead call him Larys Littlefinger Strong, since with how he acts just like him in this scene, indirectly revealing what he knows and believes to Alicent, just like when Peter indirectly let Cersei know he knew about her and Jaime. Corlys asking if Rhaenyra and Laenor's kids were the surname Velaryon reminds me of The Crown, which also stars Matt Smith, who plays Prince Philip, and who wants his children with Queen Elizabeth II to have his surname Mountbatten. In The Crown, this is just straight up denied to Philip, whereas in this show, Viserys compromises that Rhaenyra and Laenor's kids can have the surname Velaryon, but if any of them are sent to the Iron Throne, they must immediately change it to Targaryen. Why not just do the British tradition of making it a double-barreled surname, like Helena Bonham Carter or Sacha Baron Cohen? Even Star Wars does this, with like Leia being known as Leia Organa Solo after marrying Han. Wait, What the heck are we doing in Narnia now? Where's the White Witch? Where's Prince Caspian? Where's Mr. Tumnus? Oh, he's dead? Good, I didn't like him. Laenor is also mentioned to be gay in Fire and Blood, and I'm so glad they kept that for the show. And though Rhaenyra makes an analogy to preferring roast duck or goose in the show, Grand Maester Mellos, instead in Fire and Blood, points out it doesn't matter what Laenor prefers, saying, "I do not like the taste of fish, but when fish is served, I eat it." Very progressive of Rhaenyra and Laenor to agree to enter into an open relationship to make the most out of their shitty marriage situation. Got me thinking of Marjorie Tyrell and Renly Baratheon when she's trying to work something out with him, possibly involving her brother Loras, so that Renly can get it up to knock her up. So Daemon got the crab feeder's hammer to present to Viserys in the last episode, and Corlys got his mask to display as a trophy. Be careful near it though, Corlys. Shireen Baratheon caught Grayscale from a doll placed in her crib in Game of Thrones, so I wouldn't risk seeing if you can or can't catch it from touching that mask. Although I guess Daemon never got Grayscale despite touching Kragus' skin and his hammer directly, so you'll probably be safe to wear his mask for Halloween parties.
He's still young. He will outgrow it.
It's not a phase, Corlys, you prick. So despite how it appeared Criston did not actually want to get down and dirty with Rhaenyra in the last episode, he's now absolutely head over heels for her to the point he wants her to elope with him. In Fire and Blood, Septon Eustace adds that since Criston is such a good fighter, he believes it'll be easy for him to enter someone's service as a sellsword, so they won't end up penniless. Though Rhaenyra in the show turns down Criston due to her duties, and that her and Laenor have agreed to be in an open relationship, so there's no reason for her and Criston to run off together. In Fire and Blood, she turns him down because she feels she deserves more than just being the wife of a common sellsword, and that since Criston broke his Kingsguard vows, how likely is he to keep to his marriage vows? Wow, Rhaenyra. Understandably, in both the show and the book, Criston ends up not particularly happy with Rhaenyra. I'm sorry, Rhaenyra, did you say Aegon the Conqueror united the 7 kingdoms? Because the joining of Dorne with the rest of the kingdoms under Targaryen rule doesn't happen until 187 AC with the marriage of Prince Maron Martell and Princess Daenerys Targaryen. No, not that one, the daughter of King Aegon Targaryen IV and Nerys Targaryen. I like this scene of poor Criston confessing out of honour because of Alicent accidentally making him think she knew he and Rhaenyra had boned. God damn it, Alicent, couldn't you have said the rumour was about Daemon at least once before Criston outed himself? Well, at least she knows now Rhaenyra did lie to her about getting down and dirty with someone. Was Orwyll making Mellos get out of the way and him shrugging Orwyll off intentional? Because to me it seems like Mellos' actor just forgot he needed to move. Why does Viserys seem to hesitate before drinking the bottle Orwyll gave to Lionel? Is he maybe wondering if it might be poison or something? And here we see Laenor on his dragon Seasmoke flying alongside his mother Rhaenys on her dragon Malaise, which used to belong to Alyssa Targaryen, Viserys and Daemon's mother.
This is why men wage war, because a woman would never be ready for the battle in time.
Way to be a gender stereotyping asshole, Jason. Rhaenyra's lucky she dodged you. Oh, hey, Jason. What do you have to say now about women not being able to wage war because they take too long? Alicent here took her time to properly prepare her attack of wearing a green dress, essentially fully armouring up and declaring herself a Hightower, not a Targaryen, as the other members of House Hightower there are also wearing green. And she delayed her arrival, her attack, so that it interrupted the king's speech as it was the best time to strike effectively, ambushing him and the crowd. Why is Criston not wearing his helmet? Harold not wearing his, I can understand since he's the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard and so can get away with not being in full uniform, plus he's the announcer of the houses entering, but Criston's the only other Kingsguard not wearing his helmet. I guess it just might be that thing of having a character who would usually wear a helmet be helmetless so that the audience can see their face either easier or at all. So this person with dwarfism is apparently the dwarf court jester character Mushroom from Fire and Blood. Well, at least we actually got to see him, even if he isn't as important in the show as he is in the book. Also, Daemon asking Laena if anyone has ever told her she's nearly as pretty as her brother Laenor is actually a line from Mushroom in Fire and Blood. Wait, a guy named Joffrey at a wedding? Uh-oh, yep, there we go, he's dead. Criston does kill Joffrey Lonmouth in Fire and Blood, but it's during the 7 days of tournaments which Viserys mentioned earlier. After beating the shit out of Harwin Breakbone Strong, leaving him with a broken collarbone and elbow, earning Harwin the nickname Broken Bones from Mushroom, he then beats the ever-loving shit out of Joffrey, using his Morningstar to crack open Laenor's lover's head, though it does take then another 6 days for Joffrey to finally kick the bucket. I don't get why Laenor gets beaten up when he was just trying to break up the fight. Like, who are these two guys thinking, it's the future king consort, throw him on a table? I mean, what, just because Criston is a Kingsguard, he must be in the right, so that's why no one intervenes and stops those trying to? How in the hell is Criston walking around free? How has Laenor not had him thrown into dungeons to be tortured for murdering his lover? How is he allowed to come here to try and commit suicide by seppuku and be stopped by Alicent? So those were all my thoughts on the 5th episode of the first season of House of the Dragon, We Light the Way. If you think I missed anything important or interesting, put it in the comment below along with your own thoughts on the episode. My most liked part of the episode goes to finally seeing the oft mentioned Rhea Royce on screen. I would have loved to have seen her have more screen time, but alas, she's with the Angels now. And my most disliked part of the episode goes to Corlys believing Laenor's homosexuality is something that he will grow out of. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any advice on what I could do better for the next video, please leave it in a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video, and follow me on Twitter at @SSS_YouTube. I'm also on Odyssey at @SSS:83, so follow me on there if that's where you prefer to watch videos. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.